Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time today to talk about the books that I plan on reading in the month of April. Every year in March, for middle grade March, I attempt to read a book a day. I've done this ever since, I think, the second year of middle grade March. So I read a lot in March, and I'm on track. It's not quite the end of the month yet, but I'm on track in March to read a book a day again. So in April, I try to leave things a little bit more open, a little bit more free, to slow down a little bit, to mood read a little bit, and just kind of see where things take me. However, I do have a small stack of books already on my TBR, and I need to spin 2 wheels. So I have one wheel for the 12 books that I'd like to read in 2023. I've done really good at reading one a month so far, so I would like to read another one in April. And then I have another wheel that is for my Read Like a BookTube Friend project, and I have 9 more friends on there to choose from. So that will add a few more books to my TBR as well. I will not tell you about the Read Like a BookTube Friend project, what books I'll pick for that. I'll just tell you in this video who that's going to be for the month of April. So let's start with the books I already know I'm going to be reading this month. The first one is for my Patreon book club. This month, we're going to be reading Where the Forest Meets the Stars by Glendy Vandera. I am really excited about this. It's one of my 5-star predictions. Actually, all 3 books that I gave them as choices for April were from my 5-star predictions pile because I haven't read any of them yet, and I'd like to get going with that project as well. So this is one of my 5-star predictions. And in this one, we follow Joanna. Joanna has been dealing with some struggles. She recently lost her mother. She has gone through her own battle with breast cancer. She is returning to Illinois to work on a graduate project that has something to do with birds. Joanna kind of lives this solitary life. She's living in a cabin, studying the birds. She's in this routine, getting through day by day. And then a mysterious child kind of shows up at her cabin who's barefoot, covered in bruises, and calls herself Ursa. Ursa says that she is there. She's been sent by the stars to witness 5 miracles. Joanna is not convinced that this girl just showed up out of nowhere, and she is determined to try to figure out what happened. Where did this girl come from? Who does she belong to? And Joanna kind of recruits her reclusive neighbor, Gabriel, to come and help. And Gabriel has baggage of his own. And I just think that these 2 lives and this little girl become entwined, and there's going to be a little bit of magic and a little bit of hope and restoration. It says, as the summer draws near to an end and Ursa gets closer to her 5th miracle, her dangerous past closes in. When it finally catches up to them, all of their painful secrets will be forced into the open and their fates will be left to the stars. I'm just so excited to read that. So that is my Patreon book club book for the month of April. I would love to have you join in. My Patreon is always linked in the description below, and that's what we're going to be reading. Also, to do with my Patreon, every month I give one of the tiers an opportunity to recommend a book to me. I put all the choices into a cup and I pull one out for the next month. And this month I'll be reading Navigating Early by Claire Vanderpool. I have read Moon Over Manifest by Claire Vanderpool, and I really enjoyed it. And that one won a Newbery. So I'm really excited to read another book by this author. This one won the Michael Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature. We're going to follow Jack. His father sends him from his home in Kansas to attend a boys' boarding school in Maine. Jack does not know what to expect, certainly not Early Auden, the strangest of boys. Early keeps to himself, reads the number pi as a story, and refuses to accept truths others take for granted. Jack, who's lonely and feeling out of place, connects with Early, and the 2 become friends. And during a break from school, the boys set out for the Appalachian Trail on a quest for a great black bear. As Jack and Early travel deeper into the mountains, they meet peculiar and dangerous characters and make some shocking discoveries. But their adventure is only just beginning. Will Jack and Early's friendship last the journey? Can the boys make it home alive? Dun, dun, dun. So we're going to have a little bit of hiking, a little bit of adventure, a little bit of potentially neurodivergence in Early. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I am excited to read another Claire Vanderpool. Then I've been saving this one. I've been planning on reading this in April because I read so much in March. I wanted a big book to dive into in April. So what better big book to dive into than a Brandon Sanderson? This one is exactly 1,001 pages, and it's The Way of Kings, which is the first book in the Stormlight Archive. I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, because it's a huge fantasy, and I do enjoy fantasy, but it's been a while since I've dove into something so chunky. And yet I'm really excited about it as well. 2 of my patrons already said they're going to be joining me and reading this together so I can have someone to talk about it with. We'll probably divide it out and kind of take the whole month to read it if we can. I've also heard it's pretty readable. So I'm excited. I don't know anything about it, and honestly, I'm not going to look. I'm just going to dive right in. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of world building and a lot of characters. We'll see. We'll see. I do have one more kind of planned book for April, and that is As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfa Kato. This one takes place in Syria. We follow a young girl who works in a hospital. She kind of volunteers at a hospital in the midst of the uprising that happens in Syria. And then she meets this boy, and she has to decide if she wants to try to flee with her family or if she's going to stay in Syria in this homeland that she loves. It's a YA historical set in Syria. I just feel like it's going to be fantastic. This is another one of my 5-star predictions, and it was very close in the poll with my patrons. It was very, very close. So I'm going to be reading this with some of them as well. So 2 of my 5-star predictions will get read in April. Now let's go ahead and spin some wheels to find out a little bit more about my reading in April. Okay, the first wheel that I have here is for my 12 books to read in 2023. I have 9 left. I did choose 2 in February, but I only got to one of them. So I left the other one back on the wheel, but let's go ahead and spin it. Okay, Woman of God is the book that I'll be reading. Okay, I don't know very much about this one. This is Woman of God by James Patterson and Maxine Petro. I do know that this has been on my recommended shelf, my BookTube Recommends project. This has been recommended a couple different years, and I found it at the library book sale, I think, one time, and I picked it up. I know this is going to deal with faith issues and potentially controversial issues of faith, but it does say at the end of the summary here, spanning the globe from the drug dens of Boston to the horrific civil war in the Sudanese desert to the spiritual enlightenment of the Holy Land, Woman of God is an epic, thrilling tale of perseverance, love, faith, and nothing less than what it means to live in a fallen world. I feel like this is going to be really good. St. Peter's Square, Rome. White smoke signals that a new pope has been chosen. Is it possible that the new pope is a woman? Dun, dun, dun. Is it? Is it possible? So yeah, I'm excited to read this. I did just kind of skim through, and it looks like the chapters are really short. Like most of them are just a page or 2. Like the chapters are really short, which is always a really good thing for me. Yeah, and it'll be another book that's been on my shelves for years that I haven't read. It's getting read in April. Okay, now for the last wheel, the very exciting part of this video is who am I going to be reading like during the month of April? So I've taken off Amanda. She was my March choice. So I have 9 more BookTube friends on here. I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel. Who's it going to be? Woo! Sarah. Okay. So Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. That is fun. She is one of my BookTube besties. We have a little bit of overlap in some contemporary stuff, a little bit of overlap in some historical, and a little bit in middle grade. Sarah does read a lot more fantasy than I do. So maybe I need to dive into some of my fantasy that I might have on my shelves. She does read a little bit darker than I typically do, but she doesn't always read darker, so I don't have to go dark this month because I don't know that that's really where my mood is in the spring to go dark. So we'll see. I'll chat with Sarah and we'll see what we can come up with, but I'm excited. What are we going to find? So I have As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, Way of Kings, Woman of God, Navigating Early, and Where the Forest Meets the Stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus at least 3 books for Sarah, 8, which is a great month if that's all that I get to. I have a feeling I will probably read some more audiobooks and stuff as well. Look at these are all blue. How funny. They're all very blue. But this is my TBR for April. I'm really excited to dive into these books and take a little bit of a break. I mean, it's possible some of my middle grade that I've wanted to read in March will get read because I just have a handful still that I know that I'm not going to get to before the month is over. But yeah, that's it for me today. I would love to chat with you about these books that I mentioned or about what are you planning to read during the month of April. Do you have any fun projects on the horizon? I typically don't participate in any readathons in April just because I'm readathoned out by the end of middle grade March, but I'm excited for these books and I'm excited to chat with you in the comments and I'm excited to talk to you in another video very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.